7 lessons from a 7-figure entrepreneur. Last week, Christina and I had the pleasure of interviewing Dr. James Jernigan. And through that interview, we were able to synthesize 7 lessons. And we like the 7 and 7 thing. So James is an extremely successful entrepreneur. Something that he didn't talk about, he's also borderline crypto millionaire just from making smart investments. He's got about 2 or 3 different businesses that he runs, either as a practitioner, he's a chiropractic doctor, and then as a CEO, he's a sales organization that helps with providing patient care in terms of them being able to get approved for care credit, like an alternative to care credit, and just an all-around great guy. So we're really excited to synthesize these lessons and share them with you.
James is the best. There's no one more genuine than James.
Yeah, funny enough. So if any of y'all are active on TikTok, and I know you know this, you develop these kind of TikTok besties that are kind of building. James is in a similar niche. He makes personal development content. He's really passionate about helping people. And we just started becoming friends because we were kind of on the journey at the same time together. So it's just kind of neat how we connected with James.
I totally agree. And then I obviously connected with him through Joe. And the person that is behind the camera is the same person that's in front of the camera, which you don't always see a lot. And I think that's really lovely.
The nicest, most genuine human being ever. But we want to get to the good juice because there's going to be some really, really good takeaways that we want to share with you guys, synthesized. I know we like to ask a funny question first. Is it? Do I get to ask a question this time?
Yeah, I'm on the hot seat.
I teed a good one up, so I took to Reddit, of course.
Obviously.
If you were a pizza topping, what would you be and why?
Italian meatball.
Italian meatball?
Sausage. Italian sausage.
Italian sausage?
Sorry, I said I am a meatball, but I would get Italian sausage.
Why?
I love Italian sausage. I think it's the best topping. If they're like a little corner bite, tavern style.
Is it the crumble?
And it has.
Or is it the slices?
Equal opportunity.
You're good with either.
Yeah, but when there's like a little piece of sausage on there.
I don't know that I've ever seen a sliced sausage. That would probably be really good.
Well, I think that sometimes they're just some little chunks.
Yeah, like chunks of the crumble. It's like
Yeah.
It's like hamburger meat style.
Yeah. Although I do love pepperoni.
Ooh.
But I'm more of I think Italian sausage than I am a pepperoni.
So sausage is, I'm not a big pepperoni pizza guy. I love sausage pizza. That's my go-to.
Yeah. Also, I don't know why it needs to relate to me being the topping.
Well, because, you're the topping. That's the point.
Okay.
Yeah, you nailed it.
It is.
What are the Greek toppings? Like a Greek olive, I guess?
I would say a black olive.
A black olive. Yeah. My dad likes black olives on pizza.
I love a pepperoncini on the side.
Pepperoncini. So I was actually at dinner the other day with this girl that I'm seeing, and we got this. It was salmon with butternut squash and risotto. It was some grain, but it was really weird, but the combination played out really nicely. And it came with a pepper, and I thought it was a pepperoncini. And it was not it was a hotter
Newsflash.
pepper. Yeah. I think it was a banana pepper, which are kind of spicy if you take a giant bite out of them.
Oh.
But it was not the bitter experience that I was expecting. It was a spicier experience. Yeah. And I'm a big spice puss.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's the worst is when you don't expect it to be really spicy and it's very spicy. Because I love spicy.
Oh, you love spicy?
Love it.
How'd you get into spicy food? I feel like Greek and Italian food are spice averse.
No.
There's no Italian spicy food. Is there spicy Greek food?
What about an arrabbiata sauce?
Yeah, but that's it. But I guess maybe if your family eats arrabbiata.
Red pepper flakes on everything over here. Love a jalapeno. We love Mexican food and Chinese food. And I feel like they have a lot of heat to them.
Mexican food for sure. Yeah, we didn't do arrabbiata. I think homemade Italian sauce in my family was always like a marinara. Mm. It's like my dad's not Italian. So you can always tell people aren't Italian. They order like random sauces. Like my dad's a Alfredo guy. One of my uncles, he's a vodka sauce guy. But they're just sauces that like when you're, I don't know. But yeah, arrabbiata is a spicy sauce, but not common in my household, I guess.
Yeah, my dad, he would order Chinese food and get like the spicy. You know, when you get from a Chinese restaurant and you say spicy, it is spicy.
So I went through a period where I really loved spicy food, but I'd have to say I wanted spicy, not white person spicy. So they would actually make it spicy, but I've lost my spice tolerance. Like you have to if you don't have it from an early age and you have to keep maintaining it, because I lost it. But I used to go ham. I do still love like that yucateca, the habanero hot sauce. So good. The green.
I eat something spicy every day.
I think it's good for you, like how like a glass of wine's good every day. A little bit of spice.
Can't hurt.
Sweating's actually really good for you. Like it's one of the best ways to detox your body. So if spiciness.
1000%. If you have hyperhidrosis, don't get Botox. Keep sweating. You won't have you won't like retain toxins in your muscles or in your lymph nodes. They'll be all exuded from the body, which is why you shouldn't have aluminum in your deodorant, because that traps all the toxins in your body unless you're washing your armpits every night. So fun fact.
There's a brand that I use called Native. So quick shout out to Native. Not a sponsor, but if you're watching this, you're welcome to. And I've tried a bunch of natural deodorants.
Yeah.
I get stanky.
Native's good.
It's amazing. So I used to use I won't mention the brands that didn't work, but it rhymes with farm and slammer. And I would, by the end of the day, smell like shit. I'd smell terrible. And especially because I lift or work out at least once a day, I would be so gross. And then another brand, the Tom's, I will straight up say Tom's is garbage. That didn't work at all. The other brand,
I think
because
you have to reapply it more, and that's
you reapply it.
That's what
I want it like once.
Yeah, that's where people are struggling. But also the fact that we smell, it really goes back to diet. It's not really about the deodorant. We're just masking it. But that's a whole nother conversation.
But the Native works, and it keeps me.
Yeah.
My pits not. It uses whatever that like eats the bacteria that makes you stank.
That's great.
Yeah. So thank you, Native.
Brought to you by Armpits. Yeah, we could show off our guns. You can't see it, but I got a big muscle in here.
I see it. Well, speaking of spicy stuff, I feel like these 7 gems that we got from James, Dr. Jernigan, are going to be money. So I'd love to hear the first one.
Number 1, the power of altruism. Mission over money. James talked to us about this intrinsic drive that he has to help other people. And at one point we asked him where this drive came from. And he said very sweetly, he wanted to be loved at a young age. And he realized because he wanted to be loved so much that he also wanted to give that back to other people and show up and love them.
Yeah. The thing that blew me away by how successful James is that all his motivation is literally altruistic. He's been able to be extremely successful because he's motivated by helping people, especially with the new business that he started. That's kind of like a competitor to Care Credit. The whole point of him investing, and he told me how much it was, I'm not going to say, it was like significant amount. Yes, it'll benefit him, but actually it's because he was feeling so bad about not being able to provide the proper level of care for these people that are genuinely on their last, like, nothing's working, like I'm suffering so badly, like please. And before he was like, I can't help you, I'm sorry, because they just couldn't afford it. But now this business that he started, and it's all fueled by this level of altruism. And I know he does a lot of pro bono stuff, so it's my mind is just struggles to wrap itself around that, because having been in sales for so long, a lot of what I learned was not altruistic. It was just like, how do I close this deal?
Yeah.
Which is very money motivated.
Right. But it's amazing that it's like his focus is on something and the money is just a byproduct. The success is just a byproduct because he's so focused on the goal of helping people. I feel the same way sometimes. There's definitely been moments where I'm like, this isn't going to make me any money. This isn't worth it. Like, why am I wasting my time? And then I remember, what the point? Like the whole point for me personally also is to help people. Hopefully success will be a byproduct. Extreme success will be a byproduct of that. Not hopefully it is a byproduct.
Yeah, I mean, it ultimately does come down to that, depending on your definition of altruism. Even someone who just entertains people, maybe they're not intentionally altruistic, but you're making someone feel good or giving them something that's good or healing them or whatever. If you're doing anything that makes people feel good or touches a large amount of lives, the success and money seem like a net, like, guarantee almost.
Totally. Good for James.
Yeah.
It's a great inspiration. It just reminds you too of what if you don't have a drive or a focus in business, if you don't have the North Star that's directing everything, you could get lost. but his North Star has been very clear. And now he's been able to build all these things off of it.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it definitely made me reconsider like what's the value that I'm putting out to get value back, and almost being like, but let me start. Almost thinking, hey, sometimes the value that you put out isn't going to immediately return, kind of like you were saying. But I just think creating that frequency in the universe, maybe it doesn't boomerang exactly from the activity that you do, but you're building all this positive momentum to eventually circle something back just by putting it out there.
Yeah. Number 2, causation over symptom management, the root cause of all progress. James was sharing with us about debilitating headaches that he had in high school and how this really catapulted everything because he questioned his life. What kind of father am I going to be? What kind of partner am I going to be? He's been with his wife since 8th grade. And during this time, he thought the next phase for us in life is we're going to go to college. We're going to start a family. I can't hold her back from having this life. And so maybe I just need to essentially throw in the towel to give her better opportunity. And then out of this comes this incredible story where he meets a chiropractor. He's able to have someone identify his issues that were happening. It was like the nerve ending, I believe, and then give him an immediate solution.
Yeah, it's pretty moving. I've actually talked to a handful of chiropractors, and the reason they became chiropractors was because of some sort of situation like that where they were in. A lot of people, because I think chiropractic care is still like on a lot of people's minds fringe pseudoscience. So they go to the Western doctors, they try all the stuff, the specialists, and then they're like, I'll do anything. So they go see this, what might be an alternative practitioner, and they get hope. And so James is like, he is essentially giving people so much hope. And what I love that he did was they're doing x-rays, MRIs, and then also the actual physical thing where
Adjustment?
yeah, where they can show them, hey, this is why this is here. But yeah, I think having an origin story that becomes how you want to then help others, man, that's like pretty cool.
It's so cool. He did use the term building certainty with his clients. And then you're building certainty. They also have the buy-in and they can see the proof and concept of him like healing himself. Well, not healing himself, but being healed through this modality. I'm sure people walk in there feeling like they have nothing and leave feeling like they have a sky full of possibility ahead of them.
I think with a lot of coaches, that's a great way to talk to your clients as well. A lot of coaches that I've worked with, or even myself coaching, you solved this problem that you were plagued by, and it could just be a business problem. It could be a health problem, healing problem, right? You figure it out, and then you go, oh, I can help people with this. And if you've ever had that problem, there's definitely someone else who's had that problem. And having the solution and knowing what it feels like to have come from this place of being hopeless or stuck. I mean, stuck sucks, right? Being hopeless is awful, but being stuck is like maybe a lesser version of it. Yeah, it's cool then when you can go and give that to others.
Oh my God, totally. Number 3, the placebo and nocebo effect. Harnessing the mind's power. So James talked about the placebo effect and where beliefs in treatment can often lead to positive outcomes. And then he also told the story about his grandfather. So he gave 2 sides of the story where there's this example that people have been known to take placebos and they've drastically impacted their well-being and their health. It reminds me when I was going through chemo, I joined a study and it was a placebo effect study. And they said you could have either 0 up to 1,500 milligrams of this all-natural ginger supplement. I was taking it twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. And my nausea was cut down exponentially. I never found out if I had the placebo or not, but the nurses said to me, oh, well, if it worked, then you probably had the actual ginger pills. But the reality is, they've done studies where people have taken sugar pills and they seem to be better. Who knows what the actual truth is in that? But I felt better. I felt like the nausea had cut down significantly with these pills.
I heard a story about a woman who had been given a 90% mortality chance, but she thought the word mortality meant survival and was like, oh, okay, I'll be fine. And I don't remember what the disease was, but just because of the misunderstanding, just went about living your life as a happy person. Oh, I'm going to be fine, and was fine. But were there any other moments where you were kind of going through healing where the placebo you can reflect back on and think, man, that really did play a lot into it?
No, that was the biggest one.
What about mindset wise? Because I feel like a big way that a lot of people can look at placebo is, if we use the funny TikTok phrase delulu, or just acting as if, or just mindset matters. It's like you can placebo yourself.
This would be a whole podcast on its own, the mindset thing, because I definitely went through the stages of grief, and it didn't start well. I was really angry and upset. And when I wasn't able to find out why I had received, like why this cancer was growing in my body, that started the journey. The mindset stuff happened after all of that. So as I was going through it, I wasn't really set up for success to have the best mindset, although the people around me were really loving and caring. And that also could have been, I was the youngest one in the hospital at the time in the doctor's office. They were used to a bunch of old crotchety people. And I am pretty happy as a person naturally.
Yes.
So I don't know if I have a good answer to that.
No,
But
I mean, it feels like part of your journey is almost mirroring to James. It's like you turn this hopelessness into a hopefulness and started exploring what you needed to do to heal yourself.
yeah, there was always a glimmer of possibility there.
So,
And James's story about his grandfather receiving a diagnosis that he had 3 to 5 months to live. And James said overnight that his grandfather changed and he became this frail person with this diagnosis. So this nocebo effect really does impact people.
I've noticed it recently. I've been doing a lot of different types of visualization activities for my like manifestation and meditations, and I feel so much more confident. I'm pivoting less. I'm acting more. Literally nothing in reality has changed except the way that my mind is acting. And so, whereas before I maybe had this pessimistic nocebo, I've got a much more opportunistic placebo. Just being open to the possibility of things going well. Especially if you're in your place, and this is where I started, because I've had a lot of moments in my life where I felt like, oh God, nothing's working. I was a real scarcity mindset. It's really hard to go from that to 180 to being like, everything's going to be awesome. I'm amazing. But if you just go, I'm open to feeling good about this. I'm open to the fact that if I'm sick, I could get better. Just be open. Let yourself be open. Just be open to the possibility. And then from there, it's a lot easier to move into this space where you're like, I do feel a little bit more hopeful.
Because what does it hurt?
Yeah. Just being open. You can always close it back off. But
True.
True.
Just a little bit. Number 4, overcoming stuckness, identifying the payoff. The concept that people often remain stuck in negative patterns due to an unconscious payoff. In this example, James was talking about people that want to, so to your point from a second ago, people that want to remain sick, they feel like, oh, every time that I'm not feeling well, people maybe are babying me. They're giving me all this attention that I wasn't getting before. And so now if I stay in this place, I'm actually getting all of this attention from people. And I've seen that in people. They love it.
It's crazy. It's this fear of, and I pray, I think it's mostly subconscious for folks, but yeah, it's my identity is so tied to this. When I feel good, people don't give me the attention that I secretly crave or that I crave.
Yeah.
And so it's easier to be fill in the blank of negative thing because I get this weird payoff. But that one hit me because I was like, oh my God, like what am I doing that could potentially fall in line with that? So I know there's destructive patterns that I have, but I get some sort of, you would never do anything if you didn't give your brain some dopamine or serotonin or something.
I haven't seen that in you, quite honestly, but I do know people that are like this. And you will throw them the life raft and they will puncture a hole in it, drown it, and say, I still can't. No one's helping me. You know, I'm so helpless. I still need this. It's really sad.
It's tough. I think people just need to recognize it. I also think a lot of people don't want to see it because human nature is to go, I wouldn't do something that was self-destructive because it actually was a payoff somewhere. Like that's to have to internalize that and go, oh, I'm doing this shitty thing because it actually makes me feel good.
Yeah.
That's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah. And people don't always like self-reflection.
No, that's a fact. But I just suggest people to like look where that payoff is and see if you can get it in another way. Like for me, it was like video games. I get a big dopamine payoff, which is apparently more of a dopamine payoff than the sleep that I'll lose or something, or the time that I'll waste, which winds up making me feel bad. It's that one's a weird one though, because I don't know how to follow that rabbit trail. I think that's more like the instant gratification over the long-term gratification.
course.
Yeah.
I struggle with long-term gratification sometimes. I don't always connect the dots unless I intentionally connect the dots. I'm very much sometimes almost too present in the moment and I forget about, this is what's going to happen later.
Yeah, you're so good at being present. I've not thought that there's always kind of like a basement and an attic to everything. So that's kind of where you have to be mindful of it, is to
Yeah.
make sure that you're serving the long-term Christina
Yes.
as well.
Yeah, this is very TMI. I normally don't ever talk about this kind of stuff, but sometimes if I have coffee, my tummy will hurt and I forget that like, oh, I shouldn't have coffee on this day. You don't want your tummy to hurt later. But there's a disconnect because it doesn't happen the exact moment that I drink the coffee. And I'm so present. And it's not all the time, but on days where I maybe have something to do or somewhere to be, I will forget like, I wasn't supposed to have maybe I shouldn't have the coffee today. Because there's a chunk of time in between me having the coffee and my tummy feeling upset.
That's fascinating. That's interesting. And then there's on the other side, it's people that are so living in the future, the past, that they don't enjoy anything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at least you're getting to enjoy the present moment.
I guess. Do be loving that coffee.
I love coffee. I just got a Bustelo. I think it's called El Bustelo. It's Cuban.
Cafe Bustelo.
Cafe Bustelo.
I got it.
It's so good.
It's so good. I drank the instant and the espresso.
The instant's great.
So good.
I dated a girl, and that's all she drank was the instant Cafe Bustelo.
Yeah, you'll see colors.
she was Mexican, so she liked some strong coffee.
Yeah, if you are Greek and you know the Nescafe or frappe, it's very much equivalent to that.
Those are good.
Yeah, that one will get you going. That's liquid Adderall.
I had another brand before that I didn't really care for, but it's the cheapest one on Amazon. And I'm like, let me treat myself. I got some Cafe Bustelo.
You can get it at Jewel. It's probably
Chef's
cheaper.
Kiss. But yeah, there's another brand too. It's an Italian one. It's green, white, and red. You've probably seen the can. I remember it's got a weird name, but
Yeah.
it's a sweeter. But Cafe Bustelo is like right in the middle. It's not too bitter, not too sweet. It's just like, I had it this morning, man. I was like, this is the life.
I'm into it.
Live it in the moment.
Number 5, the power of presence, shifting from fight or flight to flow. This is where we discussed the breathing techniques. James took us through a breathing technique which brought us into the present moment. He explained it as a tingling sensation that would really come over the body. And I know you had a profound moment of presence when this happened. He had us breathe in, hold, sit in our heads for a moment, and then exhale. And it wasn't on the immediate part of the exhale, but towards the end of the exhale, after we allowed the breath to leave the body, that you really start to come back into the present moment.
Yeah, it was a closed eye, like deep inhale with like a breath release with a body scan, essentially, where you're feeling the breath release from the top of your head to your feet. But it really did bring me back into the present. And one thing that he said that blew my mind was, and this is one of my biggest takeaways, if not the most profound takeaway, was when you're making decisions, when we as people make decisions in a state of fight or flight, we don't make positive long-term decisions. It's more of these scared decisions, I'm going to call them. It reminded me of kind of the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, where I was just in such a rush and so like terrified of, oh, maybe I got to do this, maybe I got to do this. And I was making all these decisions because I was in a hurry, because I was kind of afraid. And being mindful of that now when I do make decisions, it's huge. Like you literally cannot make a good decision when you're in fight or flight. Those decisions only are for survival, and survival is not the mechanism that's going to guide us into this like future success.
No. Yeah, he definitely kept mentioning the sympathetic to the parasympathetic. And I actually wasn't very familiar with those terms before, but knowing that that's just fight or flight, it kind of dumbed it down in a way that was very digestible. And we've all been there. He used an example of being chased by a bear. You know, if you feel like you're being chased by a bear, you're probably not going to make the best choices because you're like, there's a bear. And if you get into a state where you're like, there are no bears and there's just butterflies, you can be relaxed. You can think about what you need to do. You can make a choice that's in your best decision. So finding ways to get out of that fight or flight mode, using the breathing technique, for example, allows you to show up better for yourself.
And that's, I think, a big reason why almost every successful person mentions in some way, shape, or form some meditative practice, because that literally lowers your amygdala's ability to put you in fight or flight and keeps you in this zone where you can actually make intelligent decisions.
Totally. Like Joe and I just got grounding pads for our houses because we live in apartments.
I'm excited
so
about
we can
that.
get more present.
Yeah, it's I'm going to explore the science on that hard. What's the purple thing called? Tesla plate?
Yes.
So
Tesla energy plate.
Tesla energy plate? Okay, that thing's in bananas. I have crazy dreams when I put it under my pillow.
So cool.
Yeah.
Mine's in the fridge right now. Keeping the
fridge?
I put it in the fridge because the grapes were sad and I wanted to extend the life of the grapes
Did it
another
work?
day or two. Well, yeah, we had some grapes and some watermelon for
Yeah.
a snack and it was like getting cut. They're getting on like the tail end. Apparently the Tesla plate keeps the food from perishing faster. Like how you put on the plant. You said you put one on your lily. So I put it in the fridge and it was sitting with the grapes and the grapes have, I think they got another day out of them.
My plant grew a lot more. Like it was noticeably more bloomed.
So cool. Look that one up. It'll blow your mind. It makes no sense. I don't know anything about it, except I know everything about it, that it works.
The grounding thing is actually like if you're someone who's a super skeptic, it's the same concept of walking outside barefoot. There's negatively charged electrons that are actually really good for your body to, I don't know the science, but that's a real phenomenon that actually occurs in nature that we're supposed to do. And so that one actually is like really easy to digest.
Yeah.
The Tesla one is really interesting, but more, I think, woo-woo. But it anecdotally, I've definitely seen differences in using versus not using.
Yeah, the grounding pad, it is exactly what you said about the electrons coming into the body. It neutralizes us a bit, gets us out of our head and back into our body, and that gets you out of the fight or flight state.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Science. Love it.
Yeah, science.
Number 6, asking questions, not making statements, unlocking that internal wisdom that we all have. So the strategy behind this is instead of saying this declarative statement of, I'm not happy, you could say, in what ways could I experience more happiness? It allows us to bypass this internal BS alarm that goes off when we say certain things. Like if you were trying to pretend that you're happy, you're not happy. I'm not happy today. And I'm saying, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Your body's like, okay, we know you're lying to us. There's no enthusiasm here. We can feel that you're lying. And the BS alarm goes off and your body's not going to believe you. This related to affirmation. So like if you're trying to give yourself a positive affirmation when you're just not in the right headspace. So James suggested instead of trying to use an affirmation to get you into this place where you're trying to overly convince yourself of something, you could ask a question instead. And then the body and the mind get on board.
Yeah, the thing that he said that really hit me with that one was your brain doesn't judge questions. And I kind of repeated the differences in my mind. And I was like, oh, yeah, it goes into answer mode, not judgment mode. Statements get judged, questions get answered.
Yeah, problem solving.
You go into problem solving mode.
What
Okay,
can
well,
I
I'm
do?
not happy, but yeah, what could I do to get a little bit of happiness today? Oh, I like maybe I can eat some fruit snacks. Like it could be something little, but it's just those little shifts. And that was a really good one. That one, I was like, yeah, I like that. I'm really interested in this concept of bypassing the bullshit filter with my law of attraction techniques. And that was a really good one.
Really good.
Yeah.
Number 7, love casts out fear, the ultimate catalyst for growth. This was the core principle that perfect love casts out fear, and that fear dissipates in the presence of love, which I couldn't agree with more. Whenever we're coming from a place of love, it really does. it's impactful. It really does change your attitude, your mood, how you show up, how you expect people to show up for you. Everything just gets a little bit easier.
Love is awesome. Love is so powerful. I think there's two ways to look at it too. It's the giving of love, and it's also the having and being loved. So when I look at a lot of people and just reflecting on my own life, the actual periods where I saw the most exponential growth were purpose based on my giving and receiving of love for another individual. When I was engaged, I had massive leaps and bounds career financially because my purpose was building this thing bigger than myself. So James has been with his wife since they were in 8th grade. So they're this purpose-driven future than they have a family. He's got more purpose. So it doesn't need to be a relationship love, but a love of a purpose or a love of helping others. But the love, I think, extends into this greater purpose. And purpose for me, and I think most people, is the thing that actually drives the largest amount of growth. Because when you're doing something that's bigger than yourself, or when your goal is something that is not like, I, Joe Jennings, want to be famous, it's like, I, Dr. James Jernigan, want to help 1 million people. You make decisions that are completely different, and that's all just from this like giving and receiving of love.
Yeah, I always encourage people to try and come from a place of love with their mindset, especially when you're judging someone else. Just this thought of like, am I coming from a place of love or am I not? And to your point, the last time I was in love, I remember people would say like, how are you? And I'd say, I'm in love. Well, I'm in love. So everything's wonderful. Like life couldn't be better. And when you're in love, especially like new love, oh my God, it's the best feeling. It truly is the best feeling.
Love is awesome. I think having had loves and then lost loves and then spending all this time, like we're entrepreneurs seeking our passion, especially in the beginning when you're only seeking your passion before you get some business savvy in there. It's a really fun thing and it's a really powerful thing. And I think anyone who doesn't have someone to love or something to love or a purpose to love needs to find that, because I think that's got to be the ultimate North Star. It makes doing things way easier. It fills you with this confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it was really funny. When I was in love, I got hit on the most, probably because I was just floating through life so happy.
Exuding this.
Yeah.
It's like that je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to, it's that X factor when someone's when someone loves, like, so you guys won't see this episode yet because we just recorded it earlier today, but Drew, with
Deep Cut Collections.
He loves that, dude. Like it just exudes off him. The purpose-driven entrepreneur, the purpose-driven person, whatever your goals are, it's 10 times more powerful.
I'd also like to point out your exclamation of how wonderful love is and that being purpose. Back to our number one with the altruism.
It's really funny because I consider myself not altruistic at all, but I love love.
Yeah, Joe says that all the time, that he doesn't think he is, but the rest of us know he is. We just have to convince him.
The love thing, yeah, maybe you may have me convinced there in a roundabout way.
I love it.
I do love love, and I would love for everyone to have love.
Right?
I think if everyone had love in their life, I think there's a lot of miserable people because they don't have love. I think that's all everyone really wants. At the end of the day, as awful as some people may be, if they were loved the way that they needed to be, they'd be good to go.
Truly. And it all starts here, guys, with yourself. Anyway, and yeah, it all starts with love with yourself. And then you can love other people, and then they're going to love you.
Yeah, I agree. Self-love is one of those ones, too, that we all have to spend time on and fueled by love. And if you can do good, you will wind up feeling love for yourself because you feel good about what you're doing. So even if you're someone that struggles with self-love, which is something that I've struggled with in the past, I think a lot of us as successful people are overachievers. The self-critical, it's like, where's the line, right? So it's easy to be tough on yourself. Yeah. But if you're doing things that are good, that are altruistic, that are purpose-filled, that are with love, it's going to reflect back to you. So you don't even have to actually spend all this time being like, I love myself. But yeah, treat yourself good, man. But that interview was phenomenal. I highly recommend you guys check it out. 2 massive aha moments that I will carry with me for the rest of my life, but every single lesson has immense value.
Check out episode 21 with Dr. James Jernigan. This has been 7 lessons from a 7-figure entrepreneur. Don't forget to like, subscribe, send this episode to someone who might need help, entrepreneur or otherwise. These lessons can be applied to all facets of life.
Yep. And in the description, make sure you download our book we just released. It's currently free. The Shift, book 1 and 2. We'll see you in the next episode.
Yeah, and like leave us a comment or something. Let us know you're here. Talk to us.
Yeah.
Quiet over here. I just got to talk to this guy all day, you know?
Thanks, guys. Have an amazing day.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.